I bet you've never heard a podcast this bad before. Welcome to the Totally Awesome Podcast with your host, the loud, insufferable, mentally redacted JoshAgeddon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Totally Awesome Podcast. My name is JoshAgeddon, your host. This is the worst podcast you've ever heard. It's so bad it might just make you tap out. Like this. Yeah, that was me beating my microphone once again, because for some reason that's just funny to me. Because I am a child. But yes, welcome to the Totally Awesome Podcast. This is going to be the final video here on the channel for the year that was 2025. Thank God this year is over, because this year has sucked balls. I hope 2026 is not as sucky. Asking for a friend here, like asking for a lot of friends here. But I thank you guys so much for sticking through all the stupid nonsense of my channel for the year that was 2025. I got a whole bunch of stuff planned for 2026, including a surprise for you guys tomorrow on New Year's Day. If you want to know what that is, you'll have to tune in tomorrow, because I have some plans. But anyway, as far as today, last year, at the, I think it was actually the first day of this year, or like one of the first days of this year, 2025, I did a video of me ranking every movie I saw in 2024 from worst to best. I'm going to be doing that every year now, going forward. So this video is me ranking every movie that I saw that came out in 2025 from worst to best. I saw less movies this year than I did last year, so this one will be a little bit shorter. I think last year I saw like 13 or 14 movies. I only saw 11 movies that came out this year. And while there are some movies that I will talk about that I thought that were very good, I feel like overall movies in general were just pretty light. There wasn't anything like major that came out this year. Like last year, we had Dune Part 2, we had Sonic 3, we had a whole bunch of stuff like Deadpool and Wolverine. Had a lot of, like, 2024 was a fun year as far as movies, but 2025 was honestly just kind of like a break as far as movies are concerned. Like, we're recharging our batteries as far as movies are concerned. There was still some good stuff, but it wasn't like a big movie year. Actually, once I'm done with my rankings for this podcast, I am going to touch on movies that I am looking forward to in 2026, because 2026 is looking to be a big movie year. Well, not like a super big, but there are several movies next year that I'm really looking forward to, and I will list those once I'm done with my countdown. So, I saw 11 movies here in 2025, and I have ranked them from worst to best, in my personal opinion. But be sure to comment down below and let me know what movies you've seen this year, what movies have you liked, what movies have you disliked, yada yada yada, and do me a big old favor and subscribe and tell your friends. Bombard your friends and your family with notifications about my uploads. Gather your family to me. Make your family subscribe to my channel at gunpoint. It's a wonder my YouTube channel hasn't been shut down. I'm also posting this on Rumble. I know that Rumble does not give a shit what you basically do. They do not care what you say. So thank God for Rumble. But anyway, so starting things off with number 11, the worst movie I have seen this year. Now, just a teeny bit of context. The movies that I've seen from 10 to 1 ranged from, it was alright, to it was awesome. There's only one movie on this list that I thought was awful. There's only one movie on this list that I thought was truly horrendous. It's a movie that I heard about several months ago when it was released. Everyone did nothing but just pan it. I heard nothing good about this. I've heard that this was an affront to the art of filmmaking. So naturally, that very much piqued my curiosity, and I actually watched it yesterday in preparation for this video, and that's 90 minutes of my life that I'll never be able to get back, because, oh my god, Amazon's War of the Worlds is genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever seen. like, okay, like from 10 to 1 on my list, I don't hate any of them. I don't think that they're bad. Like number 10, I just thought was like, it was alright. It's not really for me. But I didn't think it was bad. Just the difference in quality from my 11th pick to my number 10 pick, it's like going from an F- to a C-. You see what I'm saying? Like, a C- is a drastic jump in quality from an F-. An F- isn't even a real thing, but it should be. Because, oh my god, Amazon's War of the Worlds with Ice Cube is an insult. So, and honestly, it's one of those so bad it's funny kind of movies. It's kind of like on the same level of like The Room or Birdemic, where you're just like, how in God's name did this get made? Who released this? Who okayed this? Why is this a thing? It is truly terrible. It is genuinely god-awful. So the basic idea of this movie is, it's one of those movies where it's just a computer screen, and you're seeing things play out through like FaceTime and like messages and videos and whatnot. And I have seen a few of those kinds of movies. Like several years ago, the movie Unfriended came out, which was a horror movie. It was like a supernatural horror movie through the eyes of this girl's computer screen, where she and her group of friends did something bad to this other girl who committed suicide, and then started haunting them during a huge, like, multiple person group chat and FaceTime, and they started killing them one by one. Spoilers. And I actually really like that movie. Unfriended is a good movie. This is how you do that concept correctly of, we're gonna do a movie that is just through the lens of someone's laptop. That Unfriended is how to do that right. War of the Worlds 2025 with Ice Cube is how to do it incorrectly. I'm not even sure there was any directing. Like this, honestly, like a toddler directed this movie. Because it just did not feel, like with Unfriended, it felt like natural. Like, you could totally buy that this was just a girl talking to her friends on her laptop. This, like the dramatic, like, zoom-ins whenever Ice Cube was reacting to something, the zoom-ins to, like, what he was typing, just the sheer amount of zooming in on what is supposed to be important was truly laughable. Like, there was no cinematography. There was, the directing was there directing? Zooming in on the important thing is not directing. I can do that. I can literally do that on my own editor. It was like I edited this movie, except I would have done a better job. And there was no acting. Ice Cube, there was no, like, his character's name was Will. There was no Will Radford. There was just Ice Cube being Ice Cube. And it was just bad. I will say, one slight positive. The girl that was playing Ice Cube's daughter, Faith, she did a good job. She was by far the best actress in this whole thing. But, like, Eva Longoria was in this movie for some reason. The dude that was Agent Coulson in the Avengers movies, Phil Coulson in the Avengers movie, I can't remember what his name is, but that dude was in this movie for God knows what reason. Just, how did this movie wrangle some of these actors? Like, what lies were they told? I mentioned holding people at gunpoint. Were they held at gunpoint to be in this movie? Were the guns pointed at them from off camera monitor while they were filming this? Like, but yeah, the actress that was Ice Cube's daughter, she did a good job. She did a good job considering everything else. But Ice Cube was just being Ice Cube, and like when there were like battles between humans and aliens that he was watching on YouTube. Listen, let me repeat what I just said. When Ice Cube was watching alien battles on YouTube, I'm not joking, that is a thing that happened. He was just reacting like, yeah, hell yeah, kick their alien asses. That's right. And whenever something like bad was happening, like a school explodes and a bunch of children die, he's just like, damn, oh shit, damn. The amount of times, if you took a shot every time Ice Cube said, damn, in this movie, you would die within 10 minutes. Like you would have enough alcohol poisoning for the entire state that you live in. It was like the acting was so bad. The line delivery was so bad. They tried to like squeeze in some sentimentality. They were a very pitiful attempt to tug at your heartstrings because Ice Cube's wife in the movie is dead, and he goes into her Facebook and stalks. Yeah, he stalks his dead wife's Facebook, and it like goes to the messages between him and his dead wife. And they're like the last message from her is a 5-second voicemail, I guess, an audio clip of her telling him to like remember to take out the trash and not to yell at the kids. When your wife has to leave you a message saying don't yell at the kids, that's a problem. But like his dead wife's acting in just like an audio clip was like, remember to take out the trash and don't yell at the kids. I love you. Bye. Just that amount of passion went into it. It was like she was literally just reading like, all right, this is your one line in this movie. Do it as deadpan and emotionless as humanly possible. She's like, okay. And we're like, well, no. That's way too much personality. This is Amazon Prime. We don't do that. It was bad. The acting in this movie was so bad. I would not be surprised if like half the time Ice Cube was like looking into the camera that was recording him and just reciting dialogue that was on the screen before him. He was probably reading his lines off the monitor before him. Just the most deadpan, unserious acting you will ever see. But whenever like the aliens and whatnot would be on screen, you want to talk about like effects and graphics from like the Sci-Fi Channel 2 decades ago. Oh my god, it looked worse than like PS2 graphics. It was so awful. Like the aliens looked so bad. How can you make a movie in 2025 and they still look this bad? Although to be fair, apparently they filmed this movie during COVID, which when you watch it, it makes sense because there's only like one scene where two characters interact with each other ever. Like there are two characters. Most of the time, people are just looking at a camera and talking to Will Radford. Oh, excuse me, Ice Cube. And that's it. There's like one scene where Ice Cube's daughter and her boyfriend are like in the same shot, and that's it. Like everything else, everyone's just by themselves, unless you have like shots of crowds dispersing when horrible CGI aliens that look like first generation of console graphics are allegedly attacking people. And like even at the beginning of the movie when like Ice Cube's friend Eva Longoria's character was like, there are some weird weather phenomena going on, and just like the effects for like the weird storms looked so I've never seen such cheap lightning effects in a movie. Like I love cool lightning effects. Whenever I like upload like a match card for my wrestling channel, I'll usually have some kind of lightning effect in like the background or something. I can do better lightning effects. And I'm literally just making the lightning effect less visible so it just barely comes through. My own editing was better than this movie, and I'm barely even trying, and I'm like 1/4 of the budget that this movie probably had. Like, honestly, this movie looked like it cost $10. And I'm not joking. It looked that bad. The graphics were absolutely appalling. But my question is, if you recorded if you filmed this, filmed it. I'm gonna go back to the word I originally used. If you recorded this in 2020, why would you sit on it for 5 years and then release it now? Why? Just to turn a quick buck and have everyone laugh at you? Just, what was the point of this movie? But the absolute worst thing, well, the two worst things about this movie, one being the plot. The plot in this movie is so incomprehensibly stupid. So many things that are just vehemently retarded. Like, during the movie, like, the human race unites and to fight off the alien offensive. Like, like, and like everything in this movie happens like immediately. Like the aliens attack and they're attacking the entire world and everyone's reacting to it all at once. And then like in one Zoom call, Ice Cube talks to the world government and is like, we need to work together to fight the aliens. And then just like that, the entire human race is on the same page fighting the aliens. And I'm like, well, that took a grand total of 2 seconds for the entire world to put aside their differences. Man, why haven't aliens attacked already? Hey, aliens, can you please attack so the world can immediately get on the same page? It was ludicrously fast. And so the entire world is fighting the aliens, and we're kicking the aliens' ass somehow. So the aliens change tactics and start absorbing our data, like start eating our data. So we start losing, and like the entire power grid goes out, and the entire world goes dark. Except for Ice Cube's office, because if the entire world goes dark, then we won't be able to watch anything anymore, because this entire movie is playing on Ice Cube's computer monitor. So literally the only thing that's still working is Ice Cube's laptop, so we can still watch the movie. And when that happened, I was like, all right, I'm checked out. I was already checked out, but you have completely lost me. You mean to tell me you literally said the world is gone? Like that, an actual line of dialogue is this newscaster lady saying the entire world has gone dark. If the entire world has gone dark, why am I still looking at Ice Cube's stupid face? How does he still have power when the entire world has allegedly gone? And they literally show satellite footage of the lights around like the globe going out. You know, like whenever power goes out across the globe, you have to have the mandatory shot of the globe of where like the lights going out and the earth going dim. That literally happened, but yet Ice Cube is still watching everything so we can see the movie. Because if his stuff turns off, then then the movie's just over, because that's the gimmick that they're using for this movie. Did I mention this movie was retarded? And just things like the one of the whole subplots of the movie is Ice Cube is this he works for the DHS. He's like his job is to spy on people for like domestic and international like terror threats or whatever. And his main thing is he's hunting down this superty duperty mega hacker named the Disruptor. And during the whole movie, he's like arguing with his kids, and his son keeps ominously like, not at all subtly going, you can't trust the government, Dad. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The Disruptor that he's been chasing the whole movie is his son. So he finds out that the government is the reason why the aliens are attacking. If none of this makes any sense, just try watching this movie. Watching the movie with the context will not help. I'm explaining as best I can. So like his son convinces him that the government is lying to him about the whole alien invasion. So he joins his son and his daughter, who's a marine biologist, because what the hell else would your daughter be? Who's dating an Amazon delivery guy, and they are like, okay, so in order to beat the aliens, we have to upload this special coded virus to a flash drive and put it into the Goliath data thing that the government created. Like, it was this big super program so they could spy on everyone more efficiently and collect more data. And them activating the Goliath program is what summoned the aliens. Somehow. What? The plot in this movie is so incomprehensibly bad. This is the writing of a third grader on cocaine. It's like if you sat a third grader in front of like the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds and then just injected black tar heroin into his veins and like, write a script, Timmy. Ah! That was me imitating hitting Timmy after I gave him black tar heroin. Told him, watch this Tom Cruise movie and write a script about it. That's the plot of this movie. That's what the screenwriting of this movie. It literally feels like this was written by a toddler on drugs who watched one alien movie on the Sci-Fi Channel and like, I could do it better, but I have to do my drugs first. But anyway, back to the point. So the major climax of this movie is, this is so stupid. Ice Cube's daughter's boyfriend, they can't get the flash drive with the special super virus that'll kill all the aliens. They can't get it to the DHS building so we can actually upload it to the aliens to kill them. God, this sounds so stupid. So his daughter's boyfriend, who was an Amazon delivery driver, is like, wait, we can use Amazon Prime Air. I have a drone. You can like I can put the flash drive on the drone and send it to you. So you literally have his daughter's boyfriend flying a drone around, first-person camera view. You're watching what the drone is seeing, and the drone is dodging aliens attacking and shooting lasers at it. So his son, who was the disruptor, a hacker dude who's also an avid video gamer, he hacks a drone and is flying behind the Amazon Prime Air drone and shooting at the aliens and killing them. This is the most retarded shit I've ever watched. Literally everything I'm describing is happened in this movie. His son is flying a drone that's shooting missiles at aliens while this Amazon Prime Air drone is flying to Ice Cube so it can upload a virus to the aliens to kill them, and it works. This happened! I'm not on black tar heroin. I watched the writing of someone who may be on black tar heroin and under the age of 3. Holy shit, my head hurts describing the plot of this movie. Literally nothing about this movie makes sense. Like, literally nothing. If my description of this movie comes off as absolutely nonsensical, bro, don't watch the movie. But watch the movie. I'm going to give you mixed messages here. If you want to be truly baffled, then watch this movie. Which also, okay. And just based on my description, yeah, it should be immediately apparent that this entire movie is just a giant Amazon product placement ad. It's like a feature-length ad for Amazon. Like, the product placement was insane, out of this world. It was, if you thought the Olive Garden product placement in the first Sonic movie was ridiculous, bro, you've seen nothing unless you've seen Amazon Prime's War of the Worlds. The product placement was just nauseating. But the absolute worst part of this movie, that, like, genuinely, I'm like, how did they get away with this? When they're showing footage of the aliens attacking the Earth, they didn't film that. They literally used real-life disaster footage and footage of war and slapped in horrible CGI aliens on top of it. Like, the footage in this movie of shit blowing up is real-life things exploding with real-life people dying with horrible CGI aliens just slapped on top of the video. To say that is incredibly tasteless is just as much of an understatement as it would be to say this movie's bad. They used real-life footage of people dying and just put aliens in it. And that was the footage of the aliens killing people. Just wow. Just absolutely, this was the most shamelessly awful movie I have seen in a hot minute. This might genuinely be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, holy crap. Just abysmal acting, abysmal special effects from like 3 decades ago on the Sci-Fi Channel. An incomprehensible, impossible to follow plot that has such gaping holes in it that if you stepped on one of these plot holes, you would literally fall into a black hole and you would just be sucked out of existence. And just absolutely offensive, shameless nonsense that is just My number 11 worst movie I've seen this year is Amazon Prime's War of the Worlds with Ice Cube. It was legendarily disgraceful. It has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, and even I feel that is generous. Who gave this a positive review to bump the score up from 0 to 4? Saying this movie has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes would be too generous. Holy crap. So anyway, that was the worst movie I've seen this year, and from this movie to number 10, Drastic. I'm talking like going from like your annoying little sister's doodles to an actual painting from Picasso. That's the level of quality jump here. My number 10 movie that I've seen this year was The Conjuring: Last Rites, or I guess The Conjuring 4. I don't have all that much to say about this movie because I barely remember any of it. Like, it was fine. It had some okay scares. But, like, can we stop with the Conjuring movies, please? Please? Just, I like the first Conjuring. I like the second Conjuring. All of the spin-offs, like the Annabelle movies, I don't, like the Nun movies, I don't care. I didn't really care for any of those. I have not seen The Curse of La Llorona because I don't care. The third Conjuring movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, was fine. But this, I'm just like, can we stop? My biggest complaint about this movie is they're still making them. Which I wouldn't have even seen this movie if not for my lovely mother. I love my mom, but it does not take much to... My mom's favorite Star Wars movie is The Phantom Menace, and her favorite Star Wars character is Jar Jar Binks. So that's that. Just wanted to give you a little bit of context as to the person we're discussing. She loves the Conjuring movies. Because my mom, God bless her, I love you very much. You're very easy to entertain. She probably would not have thought that War of the Worlds was that bad. Mom, I love you, but again, the movie wasn't bad. It wasn't. It was very well acted. It had some solid scares in it. It was entertaining at points. But it gets to a point where you just feel like you're watching the same thing over and over again. It just wasn't that interesting. I can barely even recall it. And I'm not going to go back and watch it, like, ever again. My biggest complaint with The Conjuring 4 is that there's a Conjuring 4. It's like one of my big complaints with the movies coming out in 2026. There's a Toy Story 5. Why? There's a Shrek 5. Why? There's an Ice Age 5. Why? Sorry if I blew out your eardrums, but I'm getting angry. Just stop making Conjuring movies. Please and thank you. I genuinely cannot recall anything from this movie other than the actors doing a good job and Ed Warren having heart problems and his daughter's boyfriend accidentally revealing that he wanted to propose, so he just improvised and proposed anyway, and it was very sweet and heartwarming. I don't remember what the final battle was. Like, honestly, the more I think about this movie, the less I remember. It was better than War of the Worlds, which is not even an accomplishment. A movie that was just a collage, like a Microsoft PowerPoint of like stick figures fighting. That would be better than War of the Worlds. But so yeah, number 10 is The Conjuring: Last Rites. I don't have all that much to say about it because I don't remember a whole lot about it. It was fine, just like a lot of the Conjuring movies in the Conjuring universe. It's fine. I would love it if we would just put this... Can we at least have, like, 10 years of nothing from the Conjuring universe? Please and thank you. Number 9. Number 9 is a movie that I was very interested in, and I watched it last night. I had a movie marathon. Like, yesterday, I went to the theater and I saw Avatar: Fire and Ash. Then I watched, the last movie I watched last night was War of the Worlds, and I wanted to kill myself. The other movie I saw was number 9, 28 Years Later. I've been interested in the 28 series for a while now, and several months ago I watched 28 Days Later, the first one with Cillian Murphy, and I thought it was pretty good. I still need to watch 28 Weeks Later, that has the guy that plays Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time. The magic comes with a price, dearie. I love that dude. So I need to watch that one. But I watched 28 Years Later, and I enjoyed it, but holy crap, that is one of the weirdest movies I've ever watched. Like, the War of the Worlds was one of the worst movies I've ever watched. 28 Years Later is one of the most bizarre movies I've ever seen. Like, it's such a weird mixed bag where the best thing about 28 Years Later was the world building. Like, it's some interesting concepts, like different kinds of infected. Like, you have the normal infected that just run around and act super crazy and they're rage-fueled monsters. Then you have the slogos or whatever, the logos or whatever they call them, the ones that crawl on all fours that are like really fat and they're just slow. And you also have the alphas, which are actually intelligent and can command other infected. That was interesting, and the communities built around this one community because the whole nation of like Britain is like in quarantine. Like this whole section of land is where they have the virus quarantined, and the world is just the world's still like in the 21st century, except for this place, this quarantined because they're trying to contain the virus. Like stuff like that. That was cool, and like how the main character, which is this little kid named Spike, who the actor that played this little kid Spike did a phenomenal job. He was the star of the movie. He was very good. But basically, it was like his coming of age, and like, all right, you're becoming a man now. You need to go learn how to kill infected, and that was basically a plot point in the movie. Also, his mom is sick, and he's trying to get his mom to this doctor he heard of, who's this absolutely crazy guy. And just my favorite thing about 28 Years Later was the world building, the like expanding of ideas from 28 Days Later. And again, I still need to watch 28 Weeks Later. Whatever happened to 28 Months Later? But anyway. So yeah, I loved the world building, and the acting was phenomenal. All of the actors did a great job. My critiques of this movie, and what was so strange about it, was the editing. Like, I was talking about people being on black tar heroin. The person that directed and edited this movie was on some weird shit. Just an example, like, a lot of times whenever a character would shoot a bow and arrow and the arrow would go through an infected, I'm not kidding. Like, the arrow would hit them, and for like a split second, everything would freeze, and the camera would spin around the infected, and then the infected would fall over dead. It's like in a movie where you get like the instant quick cam of a really cool kill, like a replay. It was like it was showing like an insta-kill, like, quick time event. It was so weird. It was so strange. Like, every time, like, there was, like, a solid headshot from a bow and arrow, it would, like, it would freeze, spin around the infected, and then they would fall over dead. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? What a strange editing choice. And whenever it was trying to get, like, a certain theme, like when they were about to go on, like when Spike and his dad, Jamie, were going across to this sand bridge in order to get to the mainland so they could hunt infected, it kept cutting to, like, B-roll from old movies. Like they were marching across this land bridge so they could get to the mainland, and it was like cutting to like footage of like Nazis goose step or like soldiers goose stepping, and I'm just like, what? Huh? I swear to God I'm not on drugs. I saw this. This happened. This movie is so weirdly edited. And for no reason, like when it would show whatever the infected is doing, they're like the villages of the infected people, it would cut to them and the camera, it would just be like night vision, but instead of like green, it was just bright red, and it looked like demonic. It was cool, but it was still just weird. And they would show like that you have like schools in this little village, and they were teaching kids how to shoot bows and arrows so they can kill infected one day. And every time, like, it was like a montage of them learning how to shoot bows and arrows, and it was cutting to like old-timey movies of like soldiers shooting bows and arrows at like. And it was like cutting to like, it was cutting to B-roll of old movies where people were shooting bows and arrows, and I'm just like, but why? what drugs were the people that edited this movie on? There were multiple times where just weird shit was happening, and I was just like, what am I watching? This is so weird. If me describing it sounds like an acid trip, watch the movie. It was an acid trip at times. And the music, too. The music was bizarre. Like, there was a part where Spike and his mom were trying to get away from the infected, and they were in this gas station, and there was, like, gas, like, weird noxious fumes in the air, and this soldier dude lit it on fire to kill the infected, and the infected were, like, flailing around because they were on fire, and it was playing, like, happy music, and I'm just like, I mean, clearly you were going for something disturbing, and it's working, but it's just more just bizarre. It's the bizarre kind of disturbing, where I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm not even kidding, at the end of the movie, when Spike is trying, like, to live his own way, and he, like, leaves his dad, and he's, like, trying to do things himself, he's fighting off a bunch of infected, and then these weirdo Scottish dudes that are, like, ninja Power Rangers show up and start killing the infected, and, like, this weird happy, like, it was, like, weird happy heavy metal music while they were just backflipping and, like, cutting infected in half. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? There were so many just WTF moments in this. I made a video like a year ago or 2 years ago called Top 5 WTF Movies I've Seen. War of the Worlds and 28 Years Later deserve to go on that list. Because holy shit, 28 Years Later is a strange, strange movie. It's not astronomically terrible like War of the Worlds was, but it is the trippiest movie. And I'm morbidly curious to see, because next year they have 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which they recorded, I keep saying recorded because I'm recording right now. They filmed 28 Years Later and 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple back to back. And 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple comes out in 2026. I am so morbidly curious about this movie. Because you know, the ante will be upped somehow. Just the poster of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, is bizarre looking. I'm scared, but morbidly curious. But yeah, like, just the editing and the directing and the soundtrack of this movie was so bizarre. Just the weirdest shit you'll ever see. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. But holy crap, I felt like I inhaled some kind of hallucinogenic before I pressed play. And it took like 15 minutes for it to kick in. And when it kicked in, like, I was, oh. Oh, also, I feel like I should mention, it goes without saying, that the Alpha infected, for some reason, looked like Jason Momoa. And there were a few parts where his enormous dick was just waving around. And I'm like, I don't need to see this dude's enormous dick. You should have called this movie 28 Inches Later. Like, oh my god. I didn't need to see that. And now I'm insecure. Like, what the fuck? I don't even know. And the worst part is I'm literally 28 years old. So, it all connects together. Hopefully there will be, oh god, the next movie is called The Bone Temple. There's probably going to be a lot of penises in the next movie. Anyway, moving on. Number 8 is the live action How to Train Your Dragon. This movie was perfectly fine. It was actually pretty good. Like, the CGI was wonderful. The acting, for the most part, was great. Everyone did a good job, except for the actress that was live action Ingrid. She just kind of looked like she didn't want to be there. Everything, it was good. But the problem was, it was literally just beat for beat How to Train Your Dragon 1. which I've already seen How to Train Your Dragon 1. And I just watched it again. But it's live action now. Again, it was good, but it was copy and paste the same movie. And the whole time I was watching How to Train Your Dragon 2025, I just could not get over, like, I've literally seen this before. Like how a lot of people over-exaggerate how The Force Awakens is basically just A New Hope again. Which it kind of is, kind of isn't. There's enough different about The Force Awakens to where it doesn't bother me personally. This was literally just How to Train Your Dragon again. Just live action this time. And I don't even have all that much to say about it because it's literally just the same movie. It is quite literally, beat for beat, the same movie. Although, again, that's my biggest criticism of the movie. My second biggest criticism of the movie is the actress who was Ingrid was just boring. Like, first off, she wasn't even blonde. Second of all, she was just boring. She was stoic and bereft of personality. Whereas in the original How to Train Your Dragon, she was tough, but she had personality. She was endearing. You could relate to her. 2025 Ingrid was just boring. Like, she was more stoic than the character who's literally named Stoic. Just, hey, Hiccup, you think your dad is stoic. Your future baby mama, she is the human embodiment of the word stoic. Why do you like her just because she's cute? Because that girl ain't got a personality. She's boring as hell. Like, there's literally so many other women, dude. Like, you are literally the protagonist of a movie called How to Train Your Dragon. You literally bridged the gap between Vikings and dragons. And you're going after this chick, this boring ass chick. Whatever. I mean, at least she's cute. You'll have cute babies, I guess. But I hope that they don't inherit her black hole of charisma. I feel like I'm harping on this actress too much, but still, like, at least pretend to have a personality. But again, I don't have all that much to say about How to Train Your Dragon. It was fine. It's just I've already seen this movie. And the whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, I've seen this before. And I've seen that before. I've seen that verbatim. This is literally just copy and paste. The positive is it was a faithful adaptation of the first movie. I just don't really get why it exists. I don't understand why it was made. It's the most unnecessary movie of the year, but it was entertaining enough, and I had a good time with my friends watching it. So I didn't hate it, but I did kind of feel like this movie didn't need to be made. It was well made. It was like the production, the editing, the cinematography, the acting, everything was there. Everything was solid. It's just the exact same movie from whenever the first one came out. However many years ago, a decade and a half. My biggest problem is I've seen this movie before. So, anyway, number 7, Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, up to this point, I had never seen the Final Destination movies, so I watched all of them, and I think I actually did a video about this on Post TAP, where I was like, I liked this one, I didn't like this one, because I just don't like slasher movies, but I did enjoy some of the Final Destination movies. I really enjoy. I was actually very impressed with Final Destination Bloodlines. I didn't know what to expect from it, but I thought it was pretty darn good. The kills were very unique, and just the one where the girl got crushed by the garbage disposal, like that big garbage truck, like just crushing her, like cutting her skull in half. That was grotesque. The dude that got sucked into the MRI machine because he has so many piercings, like Like he had like nipple piercing and like a dick piercing. I'm not making this up. That did make me uncomfortable. Anything that has to do with a dick makes me uncomfortable. That's how you know I'm straight. What am I talking about? Not like Jason Momoa infected Alpha. I can see why he's named the Alpha, because good lord, his dick is huge. Like, he could swing that thing around like a baseball bat and actually hurt someone with it. I mean, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Final Destination. So yeah, like the kills were unique, the lore, like, and the way they connected it to the other Final Destination movies, I thought was actually pretty brilliant. And the performances were pretty good. One thing is, the one criticism I have of Final Destination Bloodlines is they very heavily relied on someone dying via being crushed to death by a large object. Like, the last 3 people that died in Final Destination Bloodlines, they just died because something enormous landed on them and squashed them like a pancake. And they did that a few too many times. But other than that, I very much enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines. Again, some of these movies I don't have all that much to say about it. Like, I saw it once. Like, the best part of the movie was the opening sequence where the blonde girl who becomes the crazy grandma later in the movie. That whole segment's where they were like on the Sky Needle or whatever it was, and it's falling apart, and it's a catastrophe, and things are exploding, and she falls to her death from the Sky Needle. That whole thing was just taking tension and just winding up your nerves to where you're like, oh god, this is gonna hurt. Oh, stop dancing on the glass, you're all about to die. That whole thing was very masterfully done. Just that whole opening sequence was phenomenal. And I love how basically the lady that survived at the beginning of the movie, the blonde girl who became the crazy old lady, because decades had passed, and it was like she was having a war against death, and like she had her own little fortress, and she was like noticed like something was like kind of out of place, and she was like, nope, you're not gonna do that, you're not getting me today, Death, you're not being smarter than that. And to convince her estranged relative that like what she was talking about was real, she like was like, I guess I'll just die then. And she stepped outside. She was like, I'm doing this so you believe me. Takes one step outside of her house, and just a bunch of impossible things just happen just to have something like blow her head off right in front of her relative. That was crazy. Like, this Final Destination Bloodlines was very creative. Like, what a way to inject life in a franchise that hasn't had a new movie in like, what, a decade and a half? Like, this was the exact opposite of How to Train Your Dragon. It wasn't just the first movie again. Oh, you like the first one? Well, here it is again. Like it. Now, this was actually adding to it, and I very much appreciated it. Although, again, I did feel that they got a little too lazy with like the amount of people that died via large object crushing them. That got kind of repetitive, especially towards the end. And I also love like how like they illustrated that Death was using that one little penny, like one tiny. Is that why they decided to stop printing pennies, because of Final Destination Bloodline? I'm sorry, I got to take off my tinfoil hat. That was my conspiracy theory for the day. But yeah, number 7 was Final Destination Bloodlines. I really enjoyed it. Number 6, we finally have a superhero movie, and not just a superhero movie, Superman. I know a lot of people hated this movie. This movie had a very divided opinion. I really liked it. I really liked the Superman movie. I can't remember the name of the guy that's playing Superman, but he was really good as Superman, and I think that he's great. I think he's just a great choice, and he turned in a fantastic performance. Everyone did really good in this movie. I loved Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. He was hysterical. Everyone did a great job. I loved Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I thought he was hilarious as Lex. When he when he was having the evil Superman clone beat the shit out of Superman, he was like, 1A! 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 Yeah! I was like, all right, Nicholas Hoult, You need to relax. Like, I appreciate you're going for it, and I love you for it. It was hilarious. But good lord, dude, you're gonna pop a few blood vessels if you get... Woody! Ah! He was going insane. But yeah, I enjoyed the Superman movie, and like... but I do have a few criticisms of it. Reason why it's, like basically just the middle... Honestly, the middle of my list is superhero movies. Just a quick spoiler for what number 5 is, but... My real criticism of Superman 2025 is Superman didn't really do a lot. For it being a Superman movie, Superman himself did not do much. Like, I think it got the character of Superman perfectly. But Superman himself, like, it kind of felt like Superman and friends saved the day. And Superman, Superman helped. But Superman and friends saved the day, when it should be the friends of Superman helped Superman save the day. Like, Superman should be the main, with his helpers being the helpers. It felt like Superman helped the helpers save the day. And I just it felt a little backwards. Like, if this was a Justice Gang movie, then I would be like, all right, then it would just make perfect sense. But this was a Superman movie, and Superman didn't get all that much shine. He did get his ass beat a lot, which I was fine with, but he didn't, the only person he really defeated in this movie was the evil Superman clone, whose name I can't even remember at this point. Yeah, he broke his arm, popped his shoulder out of socket to beat that guy, threw him into a black hole, which was awesome. It was very badass, but that's like the one W he got in the movie. But I don't know. I just felt like he should have been the one to really, the whole rift that Lex Luthor was opening that could have destroyed everything was closed by... Lex Luthor wasn't so much stopped by Superman as Lex Luthor was stopped by Superman's friends, and Superman was just there. He had to give him a speech at the end about being a human. And I'm just like, there's a lot of odd choices for this being the first. I understand that they're trying to relaunch the DC extended cinematic universe, whatever they want to call it. I get it, and that's fine. We tried the DCEU, had some ups, had some downs, but and they're trying again, and I'm here for it, but I totally get them not wanting to do a movie of Superman's origin again. We've seen that enough times. Same thing with Spider-Man in the MCU. We've already seen Spider-Man's origin multiple times. So I'm glad that with the MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, they just kind of skimmed past it. I appreciate them kind of skimming past it. But it's also weird that this is the starting point of this new cinematic universe that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you can't really win. It doesn't matter what you do. But I'm just saying, I don't know if I would have started your cinematic universe with the text that was such and such years ago, Superman arrived on Earth. Even less time than that, Superman became a superhero. An hour ago, Superman just lost his first fight. 10 seconds ago, Superman's going to land in this spot, and he's had the shit beat out of him. He needs a sensu beam. That was just some odd choices. There's definitely some potential. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this new DC Universe thing goes. But it just an odd start. Not a bad start. I did not hate this movie. I know a lot of people hated this movie. It's super woke. I don't like it. Yada. And as someone who hates woke shit as much as the next guy, I could go on a full-on rant about the final season of Stranger Things and how awful that has been. But my wokeometer didn't really go up a whole lot with the Superman movie. There are some things that can definitely be interpreted that way, but not beating you over, trying to beat you into submission about it. Or at least it didn't feel like that to me. And that I also appreciated. So yeah, Superman was a good time, but it was good but a little uneven. and some questionable choices here and there. All right, so moving on. Number 5, another superhero movie this year that I actually thought was better than Superman. Fantastic Four: First Steps. This was a really good. I'm honestly thrilled that we only got 2 superhero movies this year, and they were both good. Superman was good, but I thought Fantastic Four was very good. And I didn't really have any expectations for this movie. But I was pleasantly surprised with the quality of, especially considering that the MCU has been, to say the MCU has been struggling as of late is a bit of an understatement. The MCU has kind of sucked as of late. There we go. That's the more accurate statement. But this movie was like, it was in the same universe, but it was its own contained story, which benefited it tremendously. And it was kind of simple, but it almost felt like it was the good kind of back to basics. And everyone did a fantastic job. I love that they made Johnny Storm smart in this iteration. I love Chris Evans' Johnny Storm, but he's the super cocky, kind of a dipshit Johnny Storm. I like that this one was still kind of cocky, still kind of a ladies' man, but he actually has a functioning brain. I appreciated that. And he's the one that basically decoded the Silver Surfer's alien language. And I know a lot of people were like, oh my god, they gave the Silver Surfer tits! Woke! First off, the female Silver Surfer is an established character. They didn't just pull her out of thin air. She's an established character. And I really liked her. She was cool. A lot of people were sounding the woke alarm, I think a little bit too frivolously. A little, ironically enough, they were signaling the woke alarm a little too liberally. That's a political joke right there. There's some layers to that and some wordplay to that political joke. Anyway, I'm an idiot, but I disagree. I thought she was great. I thought Sue Storm was fantastic. I know everyone right now hates Jared Leto for reasons that I don't quite get. But this was back when people really hated Pedro Pascal, and I don't really get that either. That's very much calmed down a little bit, but I thought he was fantastic as Reed Richards. I really like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I thought he was great. And Galactus was fantastic. I will take this way more comic book accurate Galactus over enormous galaxy-sized fart cloud Galactus in the Fantastic Four Silver Surfer movie from 2007, whenever that one came out, the one with Jessica Alba in it. This was a much better Galactus. Although I will say, I have one criticism of this movie pretty much. The way they beat Galactus kind of just felt like an ass pull. The whole team was working together trying to get him into this teleportation device. And they're about to do it. Oh, there's Silver Surfer with boobs. Boop! Johnny Storm knocked out of the way. And she's the one that gives the final push to Galactus to push him in, even though she hasn't been on screen for the past 20 minutes. Johnny Storm basically berates her about how she's helping Galactus destroy entire worlds and civilizations and how she's a big hypocrite. And she's like, stop saying true things! Ah! And she flies away, and we don't see her again until she has a random babyface turn at the very end. That was very rushed. It just kind of, she turned babyface off screen. The impetus, the reasoning for her turning against Galactus was there, but they she made the decision off screen. There should have been a scene of her by herself reflecting on her life choices and then turning against Galactus, or watching the battle and her having it's like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z when he was watching Gohan fights the final battle with Cell, and he's like, I want to get involved, but I'm an asshole. But I want to get involved, but I'm an asshole. And finally, you see Vegeta go over there and shoot Cell in the face, and then Gohan destroys Cell. Like, there was buildup, and Vegeta, like, decided to help, and you saw him decide to help. And it was a surprise, but it made sense because they were building to it. They did like half of that with the Silver Surfer in this movie, where, you're helping this person commit omnicide, and she's like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna go to my room and pout. And then she comes back and I'm one of you guys now. And I'm just like, when did this happen? Like, wait, hold on, pause. When did this happen? Huh? Okay, I'll take it. My overall feeling of her random babyface turn was, I guess I'll take it. I'm just saying, could have been executed a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, like, the action was amazing. That whole sequence where they're going through hyperspace and the Silver Surfer is chasing them, and so Sue Storm is in labor, and they're trying to like beat her, and they're shooting projectiles at her, but because they're in like hyperspace and like whatever, they're trying to get away from a black hole. It's like the shots are like curving around, and they're trying to like, yeah, space is weird here. We have to figure this out to where we can actually hit her with one of these laser things. That was awesome. That whole sequence was awesome. And yeah, I guess another criticism is the Thing didn't really do all that much. He was a good pilot, but he didn't really, he didn't get to be the Thing. You know what I'm talking about? He smashed through a couple buildings to loosen the things that Galactus was standing on to help knock him into the teleportation portal. But that was about it. Yeah, give the Thing more things to do. That was a very redundant phrase, but you know what I mean. But yeah, overall, I really liked Fantastic Four First Steps. And with Deadpool and Wolverine basically just pointing the finger back at Disney and mocking them and them being cool with it, and this movie being a back to basics kind of deal, it does give me hope that the MCU is slowly getting back to what made them good in phases 1, 2, and 3. Just, I'll talk about it later, but I really hope Avengers Doomsday is good, because Fantastic Four First Steps and Deadpool and Wolverine gives me hope that they're gaining a semblance of a clue. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, number 5, Fantastic Four First Steps. Moving on. These are the movies that I really, really liked. Number 4 might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, because a lot of people did not like this movie, and I don't understand why. Number 4, Tron Ares. Go ahead, get in your joke. It's not a movie. It's a 9 Inch Nails album with a movie on top of it. Ha ha ha. You're all very funny. I've only heard that joke 30 bajillion times today. I don't understand the hate this movie's been getting. And a lot of me putting this on number 4 is just going to be me ranting about how stupid the audience is. Everyone has been butthurt. Like, we didn't get the sequel to Tron Legacy we wanted. Wah. Bro, when Tron Legacy came out, everyone shit on it. No one liked Tron Legacy when it came out. They were like, this is a bad sequel to Tron. This isn't what we wanted from a Tron sequel. Why was this movie even made? No one cared about Tron Legacy when Tron Legacy came out. And the same exact thing is happening now with Tron Ares. But now, everyone magically cares about Tron Legacy now. Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe you would have gotten the Tron Legacy sequel you wanted if you gave a shit about Tron Legacy when Tron Legacy came out. Why are you just now caring about Tron Legacy? Like, that's not the people that made Tron Ares' fault. Maybe if Tron Legacy was successful, you would have got a sequel to that the way you wanted it. Like, don't support movies 15 years after they come out. Support movies when they come out. Go see them when they come out. Don't say, but why didn't you do it the way I wanted you to do it about a movie that came out 15 years ago? Yeah, Hollywood doesn't work like that. They're a very much in the now kind of business. Like people, like the reason why we're getting a bunch of Avatar stuff is because The Way of Water and right now Avatar Fire and Ash is making just absurd money right now. It is crushing the box office. Those movies are absurdly successful. And maybe if you made Tron Legacy absurdly successful, you would have got a good sequel to it. But you didn't. And now you're getting Tron Ares, which in my opinion was a good movie. I enjoyed Tron Ares. I thought it was probably the second most beautiful movie of the year. Like, as far as like CG, like the complete polar opposite of War of the Worlds. The CGI, the action, like the directing and cinematography and everything was fantastic. Probably the coolest looking movie of the whole year. Probably with the best soundtrack, because 9 Inch Nails is awesome. I really enjoyed the movie. And I thought it was a little, the plot was a little generic. It wasn't anything revolutionary. Kind of like Avatar when I get to Avatar in a second. But it was good. I don't get people who are just shitting all over it. I don't get it. It doesn't deserve it. Same as like Jared, like, yeah, I get Jared Leto's kind of a weirdo, and I feel like that might be a massive understatement, but like I don't like, for whatever reason Jared Leto is just box office poison now. I don't get it. I don't hate the guy. It's like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Jared Leto's cool," and then he was the Joker once, and now he's public enemy number one. When he wasn't even bad as the Joker. There's another controversial opinion. He didn't have a chance to be bad as the Joker because he was in Suicide Squad for a grand total of, like, what, 5 minutes? And that was it. But, yeah, I genuinely don't understand the hate that Tron Ares gets. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers is Jeremy Johns, and Tron Ares was on his top 10 worst list. I vehemently disagree with that. I do not understand the hate this movie gets. I thought Evan Peters was a great bad guy. I loved the idea of them trying, like, the whole thing was like, basically, they were using this machine to, like, port things from the grid into the real world, but they were trying to perfect it because they could only get things into the real world for, like, what, 28, like, what was it, like, 48, it was either 28 or 48 minutes before whatever was in the real world from the grid disintegrates and returns to the grid. So basically, whenever, like, Jared Leto's character, Ares, was like, in the real world, there was a real sense of urgency of, like, I gotta get shit done. I gotta get shit done now. Because he was on the clock. And it did not undo what happened in Tron Legacy, because they established, like, they even referenced Tron Legacy a few times. He even, like, at the end of the movie, Ares was like, there are others like me, talking about, what's her name? The girl from Tron Legacy that everyone wants to smash. You know, the girl from Tron Legacy that all the incels like. Oh, that's a pretty girl that I'll never have. So, like, he, at the end of the movie, he has a picture of her and he's looking for her because he's like, basically the idea was, she didn't need this new program that's allowing me to permanently stay in the real world. She was already, like, she's been in the real world for years at this point. I want to meet her. And I would love to see, we're probably not going to get it because of how much shit this movie got, and not a lot of people saw it, unfortunately. I would love to see a sequel where Ares meets the characters from Tron Legacy. I think that would be super cool. And they even hinted at Evan basically inheriting the abilities from the villain from the first Tron movie. So a lot of cool ideas that we're likely not going to see come to fruition because everyone shit on this movie and not a lot of people saw it. It's a shame. It's a shame. It really is a shame. And again, I thought the action, like, the visuals, the OST, I'm talking about like it's a freaking video game, the soundtrack, I thought that this movie had way more positives than negatives. And again, I don't have a raging hate boner for Jared Leto. So maybe that's why I did. Maybe everyone that hates this movie just really hates Jared Leto. Why? I don't know why, but it's my number 4. I very much enjoyed Tron Ares. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I very much enjoyed it. And you know what? Just to annoy people, I'm probably going to end up getting it on DVD when it comes out on DVD. Anyway, moving to my top 3. Now, I loved these 3 movies. Like, 11, awful. I hated it. 10 to 7 was okay. That was all right. It was enjoyable. 6 to 4, I liked. I really, really liked. 3 to 1, I loved. Number 3, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Kind of in the same, and not as drastic of a vein as Tron Ares, but there were a lot of people that had problems with Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning when it came out, and I do not understand it. Do I think it's the best Mission Impossible movie? No, I think Mission Impossible Fallout is the best Mission Impossible movie. But you're also talking about I really like Mission Impossible 2, as ridiculous as that movie is, but I really loved The Final Reckoning. I thought it was a very good ending. Tom Cruise still being an absolute psychopath in like what? He's like what, in his late 50s, maybe his 60s now, and he still looks like he's in his 30s and doing insane stunts. That whole segment where he was like swimming around in that submarine looking for I can't remember what it's called. The key to basically gain control of the entity, this evil AI program that basically wants to take over the world and is super powerful. I thought I like that whole segment where he was like swimming around trying to get this thing and trying to, live while the submarine is like spinning around and he has to deal with the water changing position, and it was nerve-wracking. It was awesome. And everyone clocked into work. Tom Cruise is always fantastic. I just really enjoyed it. It was very nail-biting. And Haley Atwell was fantastic. The only thing that I just kind of didn't like about the movie, that I'm just like, and I didn't even dislike it. I just thought it was a weird place to take, because I really liked Gabriel, who was like basically, like, let's say that the entity is the Antichrist. Gabriel would be the false prophet. He was basically like the spokesperson, the human representative, like the devout follower of the entity's religion. And I really liked that about him in the previous Mission Impossible movie, Dead Reckoning Part 1, or I guess just Dead Reckoning. I really liked him in Dead Reckoning. In this movie, he gets cut off from the entity, and now he's fighting against the entity. He just really comes off as like a bitter ex-boyfriend. And it was kind of a downgrade. Like, I don't like that the entity turned against him, and now he's just like an angry, bitter ex-boyfriend. I wish that they kept him as like the false prophet of the entity, because I really thought that was interesting. Like, this dude basically sees this evil AI as a god that he's basically worshiping and trying to act out its will. I wish that they kept that in this movie. And his death at the end was kind of silly. I won't lie. It was kind of... basically all of my, I don't know about that one, concerns the treatment of Gabriel's character, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really matter all that much. But one thing I really loved about this movie is how they tied it into previous movies in the Mission Impossible series, where one thing about the Mission Impossible movies, it's very rare that the important stuff from previous movies, like, it feels very episodic. Like, not a lot from one movie has a lot to do with the following movie. Some characters may return or might reference things that happen, but there's not really much connective tissue. This movie had a lot of connective tissue with the entire series. Like, one of the characters was the son of the first bad guy, the John Voight's character, whose name I can't think of at the moment. I'm blanking on his name. John Voight's character's son. Like, John Voight was the main bad guy in Mission Impossible 1. And his son was the cop trying to hunt down Tom Cruise. I liked that. I liked the revelation that was his son. And I liked that the entity was basically what Tom Cruise was like, the core code or whatever of the entity was what the rabbit's foot was in Mission Impossible 3. And the whole movie in Mission Impossible 3 was them trying to get the rabbit's foot, which turned out to be the entity, the earliest iteration of the entity. We all just thought it was like some kind of nuclear or like pathogen or some kind of bomb that would have world-ending ramifications if it exploded. But no, it was the earliest iteration of the entity. I loved the connective tissue that this Mission Impossible movie had with all of the other ones. I thought that was very well done. Very well done. And I thought it was a good send-off for Luther, Ving Rhames' character. Didn't Ving Rhames pass away recently? Wasn't that like one of his last movies? I could be wrong, but I do think he passed away. But I thought it was a great send-off for him. You needed to have a major character bite it in this movie, and I thought that they did a good job with that, and I just thought this was a very good period at the end of the sentence for the Mission Impossible movies. Are they probably going to make more? Probably, but can you do a Mission Impossible movie without Tom Cruise? Because, like, Tom Cruise is what people are going to the movies to see. Like, people go to Mission Impossible to see Tom Cruise do some crazy shit. Can you make a Mission Impossible movie without Tom Cruise? I don't know. But as far as The Final Reckoning is concerned, I love this movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great ending to this series, or at least this iteration of the series. And I really like all the Mission Impossible movies. So, number 3 is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Number 2, my second favorite movie of the year, is a movie I saw yesterday, Avatar 3: Fire and Ash. Now, the film bros are not going to like that I like this movie, because all over Twitter, ever since this movie was announced, all I've seen is, Avatar has zero cultural impact. If I had $1 for every time I saw the words cultural impact when discussing Avatar, I would have enough money to literally buy Donald Trump. Like, I could buy the planet. So, I don't understand. Like, a lot of this video is me not understanding people's dislike of random I don't get why people dislike Tron Ares. I don't get the people that had a lot of problems with Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And I don't get people who don't like the Avatar movies. Like if you don't like the Avatar movies, that's fine. But, like, these people who have made it their entire personality, oh, I don't like Avatar. Doesn't that make me cool and edgy? No, like, first off, I don't even really care. But the fact that you care so much about letting everyone know how much you don't like Avatar for the vaguest, most esoteric of reasons, it's just reeks of just some fedora tipping Redditor who has never been outside, or at least has not been outside in like 10 years, who's just holed up in his basement, just agreeing with all of his Reddit friends and just their usual nightly friendly masturbation session. They're friendly little Reddit circle jerk. Reddit is the worst thing ever, and I wish that the aliens and War of the Worlds would suck up Reddit and delete it. But anyway, Avatar: Fire and Ash was awesome. I saw it yesterday in theaters. Fantastic movie. I loved it. I loved that it expounded on and built upon the themes and things that happened in Avatar 2: The Way of Water, which I actually saw Avatar 2: The Way of Water a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine, and I'm not going to reveal names, but my particular friend that I watched it with talked throughout the entire movie. It's a 3-hour movie, and my friend, who I love very dearly, would not shut up. So much so that I was like, wow, I didn't know that you turned on the commentary track for this movie. But anyway, and I also enjoyed Avatar 2: The Way of Water. But I love the first Avatar movie. Call me a basic normie, whatever you want to. Accuse me of not knowing much about things that have cultural impact, and I'll let you know when I give a single solitary shit. But seriously, why? Like, if your only criticism of a movie is it doesn't have cultural impact, please go back to Reddit and stay there. Just go away. Your fedora sucks. Go away. There's a reason why you've never kissed a girl. Go away. But anyway, so I love the first Avatar movie. I really liked The Way of Water. I didn't like it as much as Avatar 1. I think I like Avatar 3 as much as I like Avatar 1. I'm going to need to rewatch it a couple times, and like, because again, Avatar 1 came out in like, what, 2010? That movie I've known of for a long time, and I've always liked the first Avatar movie. I need to let Avatar 3 digest, but right now I can say I like it just about as much as the first. I like it more than the second, but I still am kind of digesting the second one. But I like all three of them, and I'm looking forward to Avatar 4 whenever that comes out. But the star of the show, the absolute show stealer, and I think everyone can agree, is Varong, who was the leader of the Ash people in Avatar 3. The Ash people were freaking scary. Like, just, like, they were just a group of atheists, because, like, how do I describe this? As from what we've seen so far of Pandora, the Na'vi, they all worship Awa, who is the goddess of Pandora. The Ash people are like atheistic. They hate Awa. They feel like Awa turned their back on them, so they're trying to turn their back on Awa. And Varong spearheading this, it was just so interesting. And just the way that she was reacting whenever Quadrich was introducing her into man-made weapons like flamethrowers and shit. Like, I was like, when the most metal, the coolest scene in the movie was when the Sky people were introducing the Ash people to weapons. And just the music, like, you just, the whole time the vibe was, oh, this is bad. Oh, this is like the worst thing that could have happened. Just the dread of, why would you do this, Quaritch? Are you insane? Like, you could not have handed weapons over to worse people than the Ash Na'vi and Varong. Like, and just everything about Varong was a home run. She was such a good villain. She was so good. She was honestly my favorite character in the movie. Like, holy crap, she was great. And Neytiri kind of took a back seat in Avatar 2. Not Avatar 3. She was fantastic in this movie. Jake Sully has been great in basically all of the Avatar movies. Luwak, his second son, really shined in this movie and is really progressing as a character from where we left him in Avatar 2. The kid, the girl that was like born from Grace's Avatar, it was revealed that she's a clone. They're doing this weird like Jesus thing with her. There was actually some biblical parallels in this movie that I thought was interesting. But like they're kind of trying to make her Na'vi Jesus, kind of, and I don't know how to feel about that. Like it's not like they're like crucifying her or anything. I hope, but they're not doing that. It's not like blasphemous or anything. But it's kind of like how Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one in Star Wars. Like this girl whose name I can't remember. I'm blanking on her name. She's like the chosen one. And it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. And I love Spider. I think Spider's a really cool character. And his relationship with his kind of dad is interesting. Like, there's a whole bunch of interesting character dynamics in Avatar. And the world building is so insanely good. I give James Cameron a lot of credit for this world building that has just done nothing but further expound with every preceding movie. And my hat's off to the guy. Like James Cameron is a genius. Are they like philosophically deep like the Dune movies? No, but they're still interesting. Like it's still some cool stuff happening. And there was excellent performances. The CGI was out of this world amazing. The action was... We literally had... when I was first like, oh, shit, was when Varong literally, one of Varong's soldiers poured, I assume, some kind of flammable liquid on himself. And Varong goes, I am the fire! And she shoots him with a fire arrow, and he combusts, and then he dives headfirst into this Na'vi ship, and it explodes. He basically was a kamikaze. We had a suicide bomber in this movie. There was some dark shit in this movie. When that happened, that was the first time I was like, oh, shit. We got suicide bombers in this movie? That's dark. But yeah, I loved Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. It was such a good movie, and I might go see it again. But like I do want to rewatch. I need to rewatch Avatar 2: The Way of Water without my friend talking. Sans my friend talking for 3 hours. I need to rewatch Avatar 2. But number 2 is Avatar 3: Fire and Ash. The film bros are like, no, it doesn't have any cultural impact. Shut the fuck up. But anyway, moving on. My favorite movie of the year might surprise a couple of you. There was one movie this year that I saw that I had a huge grin on my face, and like there were several times during Avatar 3 where I was like, oh my god. I basically did this during the entire movie. My number 1 movie of the year is Sisu: Road to Revenge. You want to talk about a movie that is batshit crazy? First off, I had to go back and watch the first Sisu movie. And that movie was absolutely batshit insane. Basically, imagine John Wick if he was from Finland during the World War II era. That's Sisu. And Sisu 1 I thought was fantastic. It was crazy and hysterically over the top, but awesome. Like, in a testosterone-fueled, you watch this movie and you're just going to go walk outside your house and beat the shit out of somebody. Like, that's how Sisu made me feel. And Sisu Road to Revenge was even better. I thought it was even better than the first one. This movie was so insane. Like, if I can boil down the two Sisu movies to one phrase, it would be, local Finnish dude is quite literally too angry to die. It was violent, it was gory, it was dark comedy in a way that I loved. It was visceral. It was so intense. There were so many, like pump your fist, like yeah. Like I don't need to drink Monster Energy anymore. I don't need to drink 5 Hour Energy ever again. I just need to rewatch this movie. Holy crap. I recommend everyone go watch both Sisu 1 and Sisu Road to Revenge. Like, the scene where they like chained him or like had him like with like, they basically hooked him up to a train so they could like whip him like with these electrical whips. It almost turned into like a mini Passion of the Christ scourging scene for a second, where they were whipping him with like electrical whips, and I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. How are you not dead? And he literally like was so angry because he's confronting the people that killed his family. Spoilers. And he literally, like Stephen Lang was the main bad guy in this movie, and he was fantastic. I love Stephen Lang. Like, he, like, literally was so pissed that he got off of the things that he was hooked to. Like, he had hooks in his back. He, like, got them off, and then just went through this train murdering Soviets in very gruesome ways. I have a lot of hair on my chest and on my nutsack because I watched this movie. I'm just saying, it's that kind of a testosterone-fueled man's man kind of movie, if you know what I'm saying. And the final kill, where he like literally shot a rocket or whatever that was right in Stephen Lang's face and it exploded. Did I mention that I love this movie? Like, dude, watching this movie made me feel like I had a penis as big as the Alpha infected in 28 Years Later. Like, I'm just saying, holy crap. So yeah, Sisu Road to Revenge was ridiculous, very over the top, but my god, it was fun. It was not deep at all, but it was just fun. It is Finnish John Wick, and I love John Wick, so I loved this. So, just to recap, my list of movies for this year: number 11, War of the Worlds; number 10, The Conjuring: Last Rites; number 9, 28 Years Later; number 8, How to Train Your Dragon; number 7, Final Destination: Bloodlines; number 6, Superman; number 5, Fantastic Four: First Steps; number 4, Tron: Ares; number 3, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning; number 2, Avatar: Fire and Ash; and number 1, Sisu: Road to Revenge. And now I'm going to briefly touch on the movies I am looking forward to in 2026. The movie I'm looking forward to the most, by far, is Dune Part 3. It is going to be the live action. It's going to be the film adaptation of Dune Messiah. Dune's Part 1 and 2 were amazing, and Dune Part 2 was my favorite movie last year. I cannot wait for Dune Part 3. I want my hair to be blown back. I cannot wait for Dune Part 3. And on the same day is, I believe the same day, is Avengers Doomsday. Like I said when I was talking about Fantastic Four earlier, this is make or break. This is do or die. This is either going to be the salvation of the MCU or its ultimate destruction. Please be good. I'm not going to sit here and say I have faith. What I'm going to say is I'm hopeful, but I am cautiously optimistic. But honestly, the superhero movie I'm looking forward to most is the next movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day. What happens with Tom Holland's Spider-Man after No Way Home? We're about to find out, and I'm very curious to see what happens next. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day more than I am Avengers Doomsday, if I'm being completely honest. We have 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which I mentioned previously. That's probably going to be the strangest movie of 2026 that I will watch. I'm afraid. They're doing a sequel to The Social Network called The Social Reckoning. I'm very curious. Although apparently Jesse Eisenberg's not going to be in it. So that does take away from it a little bit, but I'm still interested. The Odyssey. The Christopher Nolan movie. That's going to be good. Honestly, that's the movie that might give Dune Part 3 some competition. I'm also looking forward to Street Fighter, starring Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. That's going to be just an interesting time. Mortal Kombat 2. I was very on Mortal Kombat 1 from 2020. I think that was 2020, 2021. I'm looking forward to that. Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. I still need to finish watching The Mandalorian. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to watch it. But I hope it's good, because I miss when Star Wars was Star Wars. I just hope it's fun. And finally, The Cat in the Hat. I've always loved The Cat in the Hat. I mean, for God's sakes, he wrestles on my YouTube channel. But I'm looking forward to The Cat in the Hat. It's going to be a fun time. So, comment down below. What movies did you see this year of 2025? What do you think of my... Have you seen the movies that I have seen on this list? What are your thoughts? Comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, or follow if you're on Rumble. Share. If you've already liked it, make a new account and like my video again. Just destroy that like button and all of that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in 2026. Later, everybody.